Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT podcast, the best sports podcast in New Jersey. We have on a special guest with us today. We have Lexi Hosler in the building. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thank you for asking.
For those that do not know, when you look her up, she is a very successful person in college playing field hockey. Yes, we have a field hockey star on the show. We love all sports, so we are grateful that she took time out her schedule to hop on with us. For you, field hockey, what drew your interest to field hockey? When did you first actually decide, I love playing this?
Yeah. Yeah, so I am from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is the state of PA is a hotspot for field hockey. So that lots of the high schools are very good and very competitive. So I grew up playing soccer. I always played soccer. But my aunt, her two daughters played field hockey, and my older sister converted then as well. So I was like, I might as well give it a try. This was after seventh grade. So in eighth grade, I started playing field hockey and soccer are the same season in fall in PA. And so I was like, I'll try it out. And if I don't like it, I'll switch back to soccer and I'll be okay. Turns out I loved it and I didn't go back. So I actually started pretty late for field hockey. Athletes to start in eighth grade. Honestly, I feel like for any athlete to start their sport in eighth grade, it's pretty late. But I ended up loving it. And I did clinics when I was younger because my mom encouraged me to. But eighth grade was when I started and that so I guess I would say my aunt drew my interest, but I love the sport and it's taught me a lot. So yeah.
Hey, for you to start in eighth grade and you're playing at the collegiate level, you're obviously also good at it too. Like you love it, but you're good at to start that late, like you said, in any sport, starting at
Yeah.
eighth grade is kind of hard. But you
Mhm.
started in eighth grade and is art, you're playing collegiate, so you're good at it on top of that.
Thank
So
you.
what do you actually love the most about field hockey? Because you was playing soccer and you switched over to
Mhm.
field hockey. So what do you love the most about it?
Yeah, I mean, with any team sport, you have like your friends that you make and your teammates. I love that, but also field hockey challenges me. It still does to this day. Field hockey is a very like technical sport and it's not as big as soccer, basketball, football, but I love it because it does require like a lot of skill and athleticism. And it's not, I feel like people overlook it, but it is very challenging. So I love the challenge. But like I said earlier, like the friends that I've like made from it is I will definitely have lifelong friends. But also, we'll probably talk about it later, but at Liberty, especially like the culture that we have here, a lot of it I've learned like a lot of life lessons and I've already took them into career internships that I've had. Like I've taken our culture and they love hearing about it. But yeah, it's definitely going to help me in my future and when I'm done with collegiate sports.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely are going to talk about Liberty and your decision of choosing Liberty. Before we
Mhm.
get to that, you mentioned that, field hockey is challenging. It's a sport that, is overlooked. For those that don't know, if you could share with us, what is the typical type of workout to actually get better at field hockey? Is it a lot of conditioning? Is it weight training? Is it a mix of both? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of everything you explained. Um, I would say field hockey is very similar to soccer and lacrosse. It like you have the same 11 on the field, 10 field players and a goalie. It's a lot of running. I'm in like the midfield position, so I'm on offense and I'm on defense. So it's definitely like in season, our workouts look different than out of season. So like in season we do lift, but it's more of full body lifts. We're not like lifting very heavy just because that would slow us down, but it's a lot, they feel like hit workouts. And then also we do running, not as much just because that's gonna tire us down. We have games, but like in the games, I would say I run like 5 to 6 miles every game. If we're in overtime, it's probably 7 to 8. So, yeah, it's very tiring. But out of season, there's also like the fartlek run. So that's like on certain amount of time, off certain amount of time. We work a lot on agility and like the first step and like burst of speed in off season, but as well on like defense, you have to do a lot of like mirroring with the player. So it's a
Hmm.
lot of like the back step and like making sure you constantly keep your feet moving. So I feel like pretty similar to some of basketball technique. Because if you plant your feet, you're gone. Like the offense is right by you. So yeah, I love it though. Like I really enjoy working out and just what it brings, but I feel like I also have that good mental health balance with that.
So basically, you better be in shape to
Yeah.
field hockey. I
Yeah.
say all the time, being that I play basketball.
Hmm.
If you do soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, those your stamina and everything will be extremely easy when it comes to the basketball because the type of running and amount of running you guys have to do is a lot, like
Yeah.
a lot, and it's constant move. Especially like you said, you midfield that's offense and defense. So
Hmm.
shout out to you for being in tip top shape because a lot of people don't want to do that. So you said it's overlooked too. What is one of the most common misconceptions about field hockey?
Yeah. I think because it is a female sport, it unfortunately doesn't get as many viewers and doesn't bring in the revenue like other sports, male sports does. Which it's getting better, but a funny misconception that people think is like they always ask, does your back hurt? Because we are in like a lunge position a lot of the time. And I always answer them like, no, if your back hurts, you're doing it wrong. Because it's a lot about in the legs. Like you have to bend your knees, you gotta bend your legs to be athletic in the sport. But I definitely think people overlook it and how, like I said earlier, how challenging it actually is, just with like hand-eye coordination and also it's a lot of using your arms and legs. A lot of times if you're only using one or the other, you're not going to get like the best outcome in like your shots or just with anything you're doing in the sport. So, yeah, I think it's overlooked a little, but I think the sport of field hockey is definitely growing, especially here at Liberty. I mean, we are the best ranked team on campus. So, a lot of people are grow growing their appreciation for the sport as well.
That's what's up. And I mean, that's in life. If people really think about it. If you
Mhm.
are using more back when you bending down, you're doing it wrong. Period. Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be legs anyway. That's where you get most of your
Yeah.
strength at. You can't be bending over to pick up stuff. Now you out for 2 weeks because you got a bad back. So
Yeah.
100%, I would think that would be common sense. You wouldn't be playing a sport that's like, oh, my back.
Right. Yeah.
That wouldn't make any sense. But Liberty, what was your process in choosing Liberty? Why did you choose Liberty? Were there any other possible schools that you could have chose outside of Liberty, especially being that that's miles and miles and miles away from PA?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. My recruiting process, so I committed before COVID in 2018. Unfortunately, COVID has changed the recruiting process a lot for current high schoolers. So, like when I was in high school, you could talk to the coach as early as middle school, like seventh, eighth grade. But now you can't talk to them until fall of your junior year. So that just prohibits a lot of girls from like decommitting and just make a decision at such a young age. And so it started in eighth grade. As soon as I started the sport, I started getting recruited. So it's a lot of showcases and there's indoor field hockey as well. So that's really big. And you're emailing them, you're saying, hey, this is my game, this is the time. Would love for you to come out. I really, you show your interest in that school. But things really started getting serious like my freshman and sophomore year. I visited some schools. Delaware University and Liberty was actually my top two. And then there was other schools like Duke and UVA, St. Joseph's. Um, I forget, oh, Penn State, I think was another one. But you have to think about like a lot of different factors that go into it, like travel. I didn't want my parents to have to fly to every game to watch me, so that immediately like took out Duke because that's an 8 hour drive. But then there's just like also my career, like my major. I'm going to school for my career, not just field hockey. And Liberty has a great business school here. And then also my faith was a really big part of it. Liberty is a Christian school. And I think I definitely would have been challenged at another school, which would have been a great experience regardless. But faith is just like very important to me. And then also just like the culture, like, is it a strong culture that I can see myself pursuing and actually like developing and growing as a person in? And then lastly, is it a competitive environment? At the time, Liberty Field Hockey was pretty competitive, but definitely I think we were top 25, like maybe 24, 25. But I wanted to grow at this school and I wanted to be a part of a growing program. And ever since now, we're six. So it was definitely really cool to be a part of that because we've only started in 2011 and there's schools like Duke that's probably been going since I can't even remember, like 1980 probably, So it was definitely important because I really wanted to grow within the program. So yeah, but that's how I ended up choosing Liberty. Kind of it came down to Delaware and Liberty, and there's just other personal factors as well.
That's dope that it ended up being Liberty and you grew with the program to now that you guys are six.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's important, the faith aspect, obviously, also, which is dope. The other thing that you mentioned within here, you said, sometimes you played inside and you played outdoor, obviously. What would
Hmm.
you say is the biggest difference between playing indoor and playing outdoor?
The speed, 100%. The speed of the game in indoor is so much quicker. You can play it on a basketball court, but we call it like a hard courts.
Mm.
So it's hard to kind of explain, but it's slightly different than a basketball court. And it's just the speed of the game is insanely quicker. You also only have five field players on the hard court, and it's much smaller. And you have like boards on the side. So and the ball can't be lifted. So it's a lot of like little technical skill that you really have to like fine tune. And I think it correlates a lot to outdoor, but in outdoor there's a lot less rules. So, but yeah, it's really fun. I loved playing indoor.
I remember we played that growing up a lot of times in gym class. Like you said, it could be on the basketball court,
Yeah.
could be,
Yeah.
I don't even know what material that is because I know what you're talking about. Because people play, some gyms have it where it's like you
Yeah.
play hockey, they even put soccer on there sometimes, and there'll be basketball games. But I don't know what
Hmm.
material that is though. I don't.
I don't recall, but yeah, like futsal would play on it for soccer. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
it's an interesting surface, but yeah.
very, very much so. Very, very interesting. I don't. I'm gonna go look it up though because I want to know what it's called now because I've always wondered. That, but yeah, most definitely. For you, now that you're at the collegiate level, you're studying your major, you're doing well in that. When you started off, was it the goal to play field hockey at the collegiate level? Was that always the goal for you?
I wouldn't say it was always the goal for me. I think it kind of just came to be. Um, I love sports. I love playing sports. But I knew that like eventually you either kept going or you stopped after high school. So I think as it got more serious, I was like, yeah, I really want to play this sport in college and I want to make that my goal. So like from when I was younger, I didn't always think about it. But now that I'm here, I am so glad I made that decision.
So we have a couple more questions before we transition to what we call the fourth quarter segment, which is
Mhm.
more of a get to know you, have fun questions outside of the sports aspect. But for you, it wasn't always a goal, but it turned into a goal. At what point did you know though you were good enough to play at that collegiate level? Like at what point did the light bulb go off? Like, oh, I'm really good at this. I could play
Yeah, I think it was my first like actual showcase. It was freshman year of high school. It was down in Florida. Um and that was where I played with my club team. It's a huge showcase that a bunch of college coaches go to. You actually play on really thin and very short grass. It almost feels like our Astro field, but it's not Astro. And so that was the point, like our team was really competitive and was really good. So after that showcase, my club coach was like, there's a lot of interest and I really want to help you like pursue those interests. Like here's a list. Like what do you think about that? So I think that was kind of the spark. I was like, okay, like this is getting really serious. And my sister actually played at Liberty as well. So I got 2 years with her, but I kind of had that connection with Liberty and the coaches a little bit beforehand. But yeah, that was I would say it was definitely the spark. So
Again, for you to start in middle school and freshman year, it's already interest was getting like that. You picked up the game pretty fast.
yeah, for sure.
You picked it up pretty fast and excelled at it. So I saw, when doing our research, all the way going back to high school, and I'm sure middle school, I couldn't obviously find information on middle school. But going back to even high school, one thing that was constant with you was the importance of the academics, academic honor roll, academic honor, academic first team. Like every single year that came up. So it's safe to say you've had success on the field and off in the classroom too. What would you say are some key factors of your success up to this point in your life?
Yeah, I am glad you mentioned on the field and off the field because I feel like when you are a student athlete, especially at the collegiate like Division 1 level, it gets very serious and I think academics can be overlooked sometimes, unfortunately, but I think like definitely off the field, making sure overall that you're mentally stable and physically stable, but like here at Liberty, we really the coaches really try to emphasize and instill that we have this like 22-2 kind of rule. Obviously, we're together more than 2 hours of the day, but she's like it sounded cooler. So she was just like, make sure in those 22 hours that you're not with us, you're doing something to fill you up. You're doing something that is like you love to do and that's going to help you push through the very end. Because once you hit postseason, things get very much of a routine and you're away for 5 out of 7 days of the week. And so that's like definitely really important, especially here at Liberty. And then I would also say culture. Like I know that's pretty original, but culture just breeds success. Like our culture is very important here. We have 5 roots that we live by, and those are like selfless, relentless, vulnerability, accountability, and free. And that's kind of what I mentioned earlier, like that bringing up those roots to people that are interviewing me for a job. They were like, that's amazing because we're teaching adults how to be that like right now. So yeah, those are really important that like our whole team commits to. And we just are so supportive of one another. And then also just a strong support system. Like all my family's back in PA and they just continue to support me each and every day. And I think that's how honestly I get through a lot of things, a lot of the tough situations. But that's like off the field, and as well as our academic support staff here is so supportive. Like the resources we have at Liberty
Mm,
is insane. Like so I honestly like very competitive with Power 5 schools, a lot even Ivy League. Like it's
mm,
just crazy here. So I think that's also very important because they're always coming to all of our games, like postseason. They all come to our games, travel with us. So that's really important to be able to make sure like we're putting the student in the athlete. But also on the field, like our one of our roots is the vulnerability. So we're girls, we really try to encourage girls to be vulnerable. Like if they have any questions, especially if they're playing, like we want everyone to be on the same page. And we don't want them to feel scared to ask a question like their freshman year just because they don't want to be wrong or they don't want people to look at them. Like that's really important. And then also just like having those hard conversations. Like if you don't agree with something, that's okay. But like it's not okay for you to go and do something else that the whole team isn't doing, you know? So I think that's honestly what makes us like really successful is we're not afraid to have those hard conversations, but we also hope for success upon one another. Like we don't wish upon one another's failures. I think that can really set a team apart because of playing time and things like that. But it's like we all work to be here and everyone deserves to be in the spot they're at and nothing's taken for granted. So it's a lot and it gets really exhausting thinking about everything and just like going through the same thing every single day. But it's important to know like to be grateful for it and to express gratitude because there's a lot of people that don't have the ability or opportunity to be in the position that like we are in. So yeah, that was a lot. I'm sorry, but it's so important and I think people don't realize that. So,
That was perfect. It wasn't a lot. That was great. It was a lot. If anything, it was a lot of wisdom in there, a lot of knowledge shared, and a lot of gems shared within that. Shout out to first off, shout out to the family for being a support system. As you
yeah.
know, and I'm sure you've seen in college, high school, everybody doesn't have that from their family. So shout
Mhm.
out to your family for being the support system. Shout out to Liberty because it's setting that foundation. Those are like
Mhm.
things that y'all could carry on, which you already said. You could carry that on for life, whatever
Yeah.
field you're going to, whatever job you end up doing. For those that end up playing sports still professionally, those are something that you could still live by and apply every single day. So
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say you chose the right school in Liberty.
For sure. For sure. I'm 100% so glad that I chose Liberty.
Definitely. So it is the fourth quarter segment. Some fun questions, some rapid fire. I'm gonna start off with this one. We ask every single guest, what is your favorite meal to eat?
Oh my gosh, my favorite meal. I would 100% probably have to say like from home or just like anywhere, it doesn't matter.
You could give me both from home and
Okay.
then anywhere else.
Yeah, I would say like homemade mac and cheese
Mm,
is like the best. Definitely a little some meat in there. Probably I love brisket, like homemade mac and cheese, some
ooh,
brisket. It's so good. Cornbread, like that is the spot. But yeah,
that
that's what I
sounds
would say.
really good right about now. I haven't had
Yeah,
some brisket in a while. That sounds,
yeah. It has to be good brisket though. It can't be bad brisket.
of course, of course. What are your favorite hobbies? You know, you do the field hockey, but what are your hobbies? What are you doing that you like to do that has nothing to do with field hockey at all?
Yeah. I love baking. I specifically like the sweets. I like just it just fills me up, especially just like being able to multitask. Like I always have like a show going on when I'm baking, but I would also say I love going on walks and hikes. Like that's either by myself or with my teammates or with my family. That's just something that fills me up because enjoying nature, especially at this time, it's 80 degrees in October and the leaves are changing. It's just so beautiful. So I would definitely say like hiking, going on like adventures, venturing out new places, but then also I don't know if it's a hobby or not, but trying out like different cafes, like coffee.
Mm.
Yeah, I love coffee. So that's always fun. But
So
yeah.
I got a follow up question to that, a couple actually. So you love baking. What's your favorite thing to bake?
I mean, a classic is always like the chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
But I also like trying new things. Scones are pretty fun.
Mm.
They're kind of hard, like scones and macaroons. You have to get them like pretty, you have to be really like precise with your measuring. Because if you do it wrong, then it comes out like a mess and a failure. So those are the two that I would say are fun.
Yeah, I'm still working on the baking. I do a lot of cooking, but the
Yeah.
baking to your point, it's super precise.
Yeah.
Much it is too much. The whole thing like you said, is ruined. The whole thing over,
Yeah, I
completely ruined.
agree.
So yeah, baking is something different. You mentioned also, you said hiking, you mentioned the bacon, and the last thing, why is my mind drawing a blank right now? The last thing you said with the
Coffee.
coffees.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a huge coffee myself. What is your like favorite coffee bean? What's your favorite go-to coffee? Are you drinking it black? Do you like creamer? Like what if you had to
Yeah.
get your cup of coffee right now, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too picky of a coffee drinker. I can just go with like a cold brew or like black coffee with some half and half and then like the regular cane sugar, that's fine. But if I want to spice it up, like sweet cream is good. But also I love getting something that's like authentic to like that cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's like their signature, like everyone loves it, then like I'm like, okay, I'm trying it out, you know? So I am pretty simple, but definitely needs some type of flavoring. Like can't go just straight black coffee, unfortunately. Not yet. Maybe
A
when I'm
lot
older.
a lot of people can't. If I need that boost of energy or to stay up, I'll drink black then, but only
Yeah.
in like, the Keurig. I got to do the small cup, 4 ounces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whole cup of black coffee. I haven't got there that year. Maybe it's an adult thing when you have like
Yeah.
six
Maybe it's
kids and a
like
bunch of bills.
right, right.
Maybe
You
you
just get
drink
used
black
to
then.
it.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
My pops drinks black, so maybe I gotta wait till I'm 50 something and I'll
Yeah.
acquire the taste for black coffee.
My
Just
mom does that too. I don't know what's so good about it. It's so bland sometimes. But
so if
yeah.
anybody ever goes on your social media, they'll see that you have a whole highlight section for all the places that you've traveled.
Oh
Been a
yes.
lot. Obviously, you enjoy traveling. You like adventures, as you mentioned. If you got an all expense paid vacation, where would you go, and what 5 people would you take with you?
Yeah. I I thought about this one and I've always thought about this one. I've always said I need to go to Europe one day. I have to. There's like I have a bunch of teammates from there as well because we bring in a lot of internationals. So I think somewhere from Europe, probably like France, somewhere around there because there's like a it's like France, and then it's like Netherlands, kind of that border. But I would definitely take, I have an older sister and a younger sister, so I would definitely take them too. My two best friends from home that I've been close with ever since I was young, and then one of my best friends and one of my old teammates, and my roommate from college. So yeah, that's the 5 people I would take, but I wish I could take more. But yeah, I would say Europe. I mean, it's just so pretty and just like a different lifestyle over there a little bit.
Yeah,
But
most definitely. Europe is on my list too. I was watching The Equalizer 3 last night, right?
okay.
Based in Italy. I was more excited of the views of Italy than the whole movie. I'm like, I'm here for these views. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
more here for that. Like, Italy is in Europe is like you said, it's a different lifestyle over there, and it's
Hmm.
so beautiful. So many different things.
Yeah.
The beaches, every like, it's completely different.
Yeah.
2 more before we get you out of here. Again, we appreciate you hopping on with us. For those that are just tuning in, this is Lexi. Thank you again. What is your favorite scripture or scriptures that you go to?
Yeah. Um, that's hard. I feel like I have a lot. Um,
That's good though.
I
That's
know. I
good.
have to, I probably should have thought about this one a little more. Um, I mean, I feel like Psalms has a lot. There's a lot in, especially like Psalms like 145. It has a lot of just like um at like the top, the headings or whatever is like giving thanks, like how to love, like how to be grateful, like a lot of things like that. And I think that is also just like it can be basic if you want to say, but it's also hard. Like I think that's the most challenging thing to do, like how to love on others, like how to be grateful, how to praise, how to worship. Like those are things that we can do like every day, but I definitely lose sight of, and I just get caught up in the moment of like my sport, and um I don't always like take the time to do those things that come so easy but are so hard to do sometimes. So yeah, sorry that wasn't a specific one, but Psalm like 145, it has a lot of um Bible verses about those kind of topics.
Oh
So
yeah, that's no problem. Everything you
yeah.
said though is true. Like that sometimes can be the hardest thing. You get caught up with life and you forget
Mhm.
sometimes of being grateful and doing the things that you need to do. Wasn't on there, but I just want to ask, who are some of your favorite musical artists that you listen to?
Um, it depends what mood I'm in, but I am a country lover. I love country, and honestly, everyone, I wouldn't say like Morgan Wallen or those type of people are like my favorite. I do enjoy their songs. I mean, they're a vibe sometimes, but I think just like any type of country, I really enjoy. But I love Rihanna. Like I just love her. I think she's so underrated, and I think her voice is amazing. Obviously the Super Bowl was amazing, but I think she's really cool. I love listening to her. Um, I forget who else. Like I feel like it just depends what mood I'm in. It depends on what I listen to. So, but yeah, I always stand by Rihanna. I don't care.
That's perfect. You said that because I was going to ask what was your thoughts on the Super Bowl performance, but you already answered it. So
Yeah, of course.
you know it was mixed reviews on it. So
I know. Yeah, I wish she Loki wish like some of the people she sang song with like would have came out. Um like who is it? Like Drake, I think, or oh my gosh, now I'm blanking on some of the like co-artists that sing with her. But I was like waiting for it. I know it's just her, which is okay. But I think people would have gone crazy.
yeah, I thought they were gonna come out. Jay-Z, Drake.
Jay-Z, yeah,
I thought they were gonna come out with her, but I get it. She did it by herself. She had to
yeah,
do it. So everybody's
kind of.
clamoring for her to come back and have music. So this is
Yeah,
what this is my gift to y'all. So she did it that way. So I get it.
yeah, right, right.
Last one before we get you out of here. If somebody was making a movie about your life, who would you want to play you in that movie?
I don't know if you know her, you might, but her name is Blake Lively. Um, okay, just want to make sure. I think she obviously she's known to be in Gossip Girl, but I just think she's an amazing actress, and I think she's also very beautiful. So I would want her to play me if I could choose. But
Not a bad option. Blake Lively is not a bad option. So can't
yeah.
disagree with that one. And thank you so much for taking your time out. For those that's watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to it, share it, subscribe. But it's better on YouTube. So come check us out on YouTube. Our YouTube viewers, share, share, share. It could be your cousin, your uncle, dog. We do not care. Share everybody so we can educate the algorithm and let the algorithm know that this is great content. But y'all
Yes.
know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.